Hi everyone, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. I will give people some time to join, as usual.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is actually going to be the last AMA of the year.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, it is the last AMA of the year. I think it'll be a short AMA this week because it's the Christmas period and holidays, and we'll just let everyone. We'll give a quick update from our side. We'll open up to questions for half an hour, and we'll hold it until the new year, I think. But
yeah, also I think quite a few people are kind of right now in the Globe Soccer Awards that's ongoing.
Yeah, we also want to let people watch that, right? Because there's a lot going on there.
There's Pape on there, right in front of our logo. That's like pretty cool.
It's really good. I like that there's someone called Binance watching with CZ's profile picture. And then their username is @Shiba with a lot of A's and then 3. I like that guy. It's a cool username.
Could be CZ himself.
Maybe it's CZ himself. Maybe he's just listening in.
We're good to go with the stream.
And everything.
Yeah, the stream's up. The game's up. Everything's being streamed on YouTube. I would really appreciate if everyone here could just hit the YouTube link and smash that like button, because it really helps to spread the word of Bezoge across to everyone else. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. So would really appreciate if everyone could please hit the like button.
Yeah, on YouTube, if you have access to YouTube, and also on Twitter. For all the people that are already on here listening, I know you're all already on here on Twitter. If you could take the time to do a quick retweet of our latest tweet announcing the AMA, that would be fantastic. It brings a lot of extra traffic to the AMA and to the project in general. Okay, I think we can get started. The main things to update this week with regards to development, there's a few things on development. One, we have just brought on, we mentioned last week, we've just brought on someone with a lot of 20 years marketing experience. Hey, Doglord, can you mute yourself while you're on?
Sorry,
because you're playing the game and your keyboard's really loud.
My apologies.
I assume you're running around in Bezogia, but even still. So, where was I? What was it? Yeah, we brought on someone with 20 years experience in digital marketing and SEO, and he is currently going through the. He's probably listening to this AMA actually at the moment. I think he usually is. But basically, we're going through the whole website of Bezoge.com and also Legends of Bezogia website, Bezogia.com, and doing a full overhaul of that with an SEO perspective in mind from the ground up. So that's something that is ongoing with regards to the website and with regards to building our brand and our digital presence. We also just incorporated our company. We'll give a bit more information about that at a later date, but we've just successfully today incorporated a company in Dubai, a legal entity for the project. Can everyone hear me, by the way? Doglord, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm getting a message from someone on WhatsApp saying that I've gone silent, so maybe. But we've just set up the legal entity, and that actually has been processed today. So there should be some. We'll make some more announcements with that in the future. But legal entity is set up. With regards to the game development, we spent the last basically 1 or 2 weeks on switching over to a new backend for the game, a new server architecture, and that is Photon Fusion. So the main thing about Photon Fusion is it's we built the original game on something called Pun, which is I can't remember the exact. I think it's Photon Unity Networking that stands for. But anyway, we built it on Pun, and it was basically built for speed. And now we've redeveloped the game into Fusion, which is something that's highly scalable, and we can handle up to 400 players if we are running at 30 hertz. So I think that it was necessary that we switch over, and it's better to take the time now to switch over before we begin to scale out the game properly. So the people that may be new to alpha testing, if you download the game now, it will take you over to the login process using Wallet Connect will actually open a URL for you. So don't be worried if you see that and you think it's a phishing scam or whatever. There's nothing going on there. It's just that because of the way that the new server architecture works within the game, there's 2 conflicting files, and it's impossible to show the QR code within the game. It's a temporary workaround while we work on it, and we will be creating our own wallet system for inside the game, and we won't be using Wallet Connect at all, basically. So this is a temporary solution. It's also on a temporary domain right now. Tomorrow, I'll be sitting down with the game development team and moving it over to Bezoge or Bezogia.com. It's currently on a website called Beta, so BETA-Bezogia.com. So if you see that URL, then don't be worried. That is our URL. It's just the development team did it quickly, and I wasn't around to update the DNS records of Bezogia.com, so they just quickly did it themselves and bought a domain to make it faster, to make sure they could get the update out on time. So that's what's been going on with the game, the website, bringing on the new marketing guy. And then the most important thing that is going on today is, I'm sure everyone knows because it's been all over our social media and all over the press and the PR around it, is we're sponsoring the Globe Soccer Awards in Dubai. And the live stream, this is also one of the reasons we're going to keep this AMA short, is the live stream is on right now. I believe there's currently, I don't have it on in the background, but I believe Lewandowski and Mbappe are being interviewed right now, and right behind Mbappe is the Legends of Bezogia logo. So that's really cool. I think we tweeted about it, actually. I'm not sure if we tweeted about it yet, but I know some other community members have tweeted about it already. And if you're in the Telegram group, we have tweeted about it. We retweeted Aaron's tweet. You'll see the Legends of Bezogia logo is right behind Mbappe. So really cool. And there should be a lot more exposure for the game and for our project throughout the event. One of the awards is actually sponsored by us. So I do encourage anyone that is free right now, and I imagine a lot of people have some free time because of the holidays, to give it a watch. I know the American audience maybe are not so much into soccer as the European audience are, and South American audience as well, but it's a big thing, and there should be. I'm not sure of the viewership statistics. I don't know if we have that yet, but we should get hold of that after. It's also being streamed on TikTok. TikTok is the main sponsor of the event, along with Emirates, us, and a few other companies. So yeah, it's a big thing, and a lot of the team. Another reason we're keeping this a little bit short is a lot of the team that are usually on here are at the event. So yeah, that's basically it from our side. Doglord, is there anything you wanted to add in? Sorry.
No, nothing in particular to add. There's a lot coming up, but we can't announce that. We're planning a lot of deliverables to be completed by January. But we'll probably be announcing it in the coming AMAs.
Yeah, looking at the calendar for January, there's a lot of stuff to be announced, and a lot of deliverables. So January is going to be a fun month. I think January will be a very fun month. In other updates, we are also scaling out the team significantly. We won't go into too much detail about that, but the team is certainly scaling out significantly, and you'll begin to see a lot more content coming out. We have a couple of 2D artists joining the team. We're moving into a new office next month. There's a lot of people around the world, not necessarily just in our China office, but all around the world that are working for us now, full-time employees, and it's very exciting to see the team build up, and everything is going to start moving significantly faster and more efficient. So it's really, I think over the next couple of months, you should begin to see a lot more updates. I think we're scaling just the China team alone should be scaled out to about 24 people by February sort of time. It's currently in China, there's about 14 people in the office with other people working remotely, but should be up to about 24 people. And we also have a lot of people in Dubai, in US, in Europe. So yeah, the team is getting significantly bigger, and that should speed things up significantly as well. Okay, let's open it up to questions. I think the first person that was on here was Oya Chen. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. I don't want to get it wrong. But I think the tag is @DonJoki. Hey, DonJoki, do you have a question? You need to unmute yourself. You're muted right now, just in case you're trying to speak. Okay, I'll move on to the next person. And by the way, Oha Chenu, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Sorry if I got it wrong. If you want to speak, just unmute yourself and you can ask a question. In the meantime, Mike, did you have a question? Mike? I'm sure that's Mike. ZayedSalimCars@gmail.com. Doglord, you can still hear me, right?
I can still hear you, yeah.
Okay. Mike, you're muted, by the way. If you have a question. Okay, I'll move on to someone else. Let me get Black NFT Culture.
Hey, how you guys doing today? I just had a question.
Fantastic.
About, can you guys hear me? All right, cool. I just had a question about community members that and if you guys plan on having nodes for Bezogia, and if we would be would it for you guys to develop nodes and for us to own them possibly?
What do you? Can you explain that a little bit more detail? If I'm not sure if I'm 100% understanding the question.
So nodes.
Nodes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So nodes in terms of what? In terms of for community members, what do you mean by nodes? You maybe have to go into a little more detail.
So nodes are what the blockchain goes through to.
Oh, I know that. I know that aspect.
Yeah, so I was just wondering if you guys
mean in terms of.
Yeah, we're gonna make a decentralized network because I believe you said that you own a certain, like you get blocks, correct? So I was wondering if you guys were going to make your own decentralized network for Bezogia. I guess that's my question. And if you guys are, would we be able to buy nodes to make the decentralized network bigger?
Okay, I get the question. With regards to that, the first step in our journey is not to create our own blockchain and not to have our own nodes on the Ethereum network or on whatever network it is. I mean, sorry, not to have our own blockchain, which means we would just have our own nodes, right? But the original plan is to be on Ethereum plus another network, and that would be a layer 2 network, such as Polygon, Avalanche, BSC, whichever one it is. We're in discussion with several of them right now. The original plan was Polygon, but it may move over to another network if there's another network that offers a better solution for us. We had a few issues with Polygon during the NFT minting, and there was a lot of issues with the bridge. But we're still completely open to continuing on Polygon. But basically, any solution that we use in the meantime will be an EVM solution. So it'll be something that is cross-compatible between EVM networks. Long term, that's short term and medium term. Long term, there is definitely possibility that we would create our own network if we our own blockchain if there are some issues that we can't overcome. Because there are certain things like gas fees on other networks that are out of our control. There are things that could be made possible, certainly, by having our own network, and a lot of problems that could be solved. But one of the goals of the game is to be cross-compatible on multiple networks as well. So the long-term goal is actually to have the game on a lot of networks, not necessarily just on one. But not necessarily in a sense that you're earning on all these networks. You would most likely earning on one network. But the end goal is to be cross-compatible with multiple networks so that you can access all these different platforms. Like, for example, you could access Uniswap on Ethereum network, and you could also access QuickSwap on Polygon network. Or you could use Aave on Polygon, you could use Aave on AVAX. We want this to be cross-compatible because we want the game to be an entry to crypto for people. And so I strongly believe that one of the only ways we can make that happen is by making our game cross-chain and not necessarily linking ourselves to just one chain. Does that answer the question?
Yes, that does. I just wanted to know, like, long-term, but that did, and thank you.
Yeah, if we did have our own chain in the future, bear in mind this is probably quite a long way down the line if we were going to develop our own chain. Then we would definitely open it up for people to be able to mine on that chain or to have their own nodes on that chain. Yes, that would be something completely achievable. Definitely something we would look into if we were to do that in the future.
To follow up to that question, I'm guessing some of the members might have this question as well. If we were to migrate, let's say, out of Polygon to another chain, how would the NFT migration work, and what would the members have to do, the holders have to do for that?
I mean, there are several solutions to that. There is not a huge issue with the NFTs being on a different network, as long as it's an EVM compatible network. Because if you were to log into the game using your Polygon wallet, that's the same address as your Ethereum wallet, and I believe it would also be the same address as your AVAX wallet or your BSC wallet. So as long as we can prove ownership of that NFT, it shouldn't be an issue in the short term. But for transferring between different networks, we'll definitely have to create a bridge. This is, again, none of this is even confirmed. We may just be running the game on Polygon. This is just a hypothetical. If we do move the game over to, let's say, AVAX or BSC, we would have to just create a bridge. I believe with Polygon, there's already a bridge. Worst case scenario is we do an airdrop, but there would be no risk to the ownership of any NFTs in there. we would definitely be able to bridge them across to any network that you wanted. Much like on with Axes, you can move your NFTs from ETH over to Ronin. It's completely possible. So you would definitely be able to bridge your NFTs over.
Okay. I've got a question on YouTube. He's asking, are there player-created arena modes in the game?
So similar to that, something like that. I think we've mentioned this a few times on the AMAs. Within the Bezoge area, there will be a Colosseum. And if within that Colosseum, this is essentially an arena. It will be a PvP. The end goal is to have sort of 50 players playing together. In the beginning, it will probably be less, just so that we can ensure that there's enough players on at one time, maybe 10 to 20. But the end goal will be that there'll be 50 players, or at least 30 to 50 players, all battling against each other in a PvP arena. So yes, there is that. And if you're perhaps talking about areas, we'll also have your homeland, which we discussed. There's not a specific name for it yet, but essentially it will be something along the lines of like Animal Crossing style, where you have your own home that you can build things in, you can invite your friends into. We did discuss this a few times on the AMAs as well. So this would be like not necessarily PvP or an arena, but this is a space that you can enjoy with your friends, in a more private area, with a private address that you can invite people into, a more private space. Also a more customizable space. This is also part of the sort of metaverse. We also have something that very interesting to do with metaverse, but we can't announce that yet. We're doing something very, very, very interesting with how we make our game more like a metaverse. So I think sometime next year, Q1, we'll probably make an announcement about that. But that's probably mid Q1 that we'll make any announcement about that. Maybe even start of Q2.
All right, that's good. That's the only question on YouTube. We can move on to.
Okay, so GameFi or GameFi.
Yeah, hi.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, hey. So, greetings to all the Bezogians. Thanks for hosting this space. I am encouraged of all the social engagement and all the sharing and content and things that are out there. It's making me a long-term believer every day. So, I'm just thinking that for long-term thinking, because one of the real interesting points for me that I got excited about when I was reading the white paper at first, and I minted some origin pieces, that I just loved the entire meme landscape. You know, it felt like a parody of we're all looking at the current crypto market and basically kind of making jokes about it. You know, and I was Go ahead. What?
No, and you go. Sorry, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just sharing my insight, and I was just wondering along that line, does the game follow? Does it? I guess, and I guess it can go both ways. Not like it has to be all or nothing, but does it follow a trajectory that's more trying to create its own story within this ecosystem, or does it continue to be a critique on the market as we go on in time?
Okay, so it's a bit of both. It's not the exact same story. It's a different storyline to the meme itself. As we're currently rebuilding the website, just to give a little bit of insight, we are keeping both brands a little bit separate in a sense, that because Bezoge itself is a meme, and it is sort of the essence of the project, right? The project came from a meme, and I think that's an important thing, because the meme is fun, right? And there's a lot of value in memes. It's memes themselves. So we are keeping the Bezoge brand as a whole. but it will have a lot more connection into Bezogia itself. Within Bezogia, the whole world is basically, it's a meme metaverse. That's what we call it, right? It's the meme metaverse. So everything in there is memes. We have all the enemies are other memes, right? You've got Shib, you've got Feg, you've got Doge. It's all memes that are the enemies. We also have all the weapons within the games are named after crypto terminologies, right? So the sword is the green candle. We have the gas mask for the Bezogies, which is, gas mask is in a gas fees on Ethereum. There's every single thing in there. We even have Triple Top Mountain, the castle in the middle, the city in the middle of neutral land is called Bullish. We're also building the dungeons, which will have Bearish in there. So everything is sort of crypto related in a kind of meme fashion. You'll even notice that the way that the Bezogies run is a Naruto run. So if you notice that when they run, if you do the sprint, they'll put their hands behind their back and run like that. So everything in the game is a meme, essentially. And we will be building upon that. And I think that's what makes it fun, because we're basically the only meme metaverse. And I think people have seen a lot of meme coins, and we will be the first meme metaverse. So that's where I think we bring a lot of value. So yes, it's still a meme. The game is still very much a meme. It's more of an educational meme, because I think that memes and these fun terms, like we can have things in the game like pump and dumps. We can have mini games that are pump and dumps. We can have there's so many fun things that we can have within the game, within the metaverse itself.
For example, the weapons, right? Like we have a hard fork, which is like a fork.
We have the hard fork. We've not actually shared the hard fork yet. We have the shield is the Bezoge buy wall. There's a whole load of things. There's the recovery seed, which is the healing necklace.
The bow and arrow is called the moonshot.
Oh, we've not announced that one either yet. So Clark, you're just giving it all away. But we do. We have the moonshot.
I just got too excited. My bad.
The moonshot is a really cool bow and arrow as well, actually. So yeah, I mean, everything within the game is a meme. So we are sort of expanding upon the Bezoge meme itself and moving into more generic memes within the game. But that's to make the game more relatable. I think the way that we can educate the public about all this crypto terminology and get people interested in crypto is to basically gamify everything people do within crypto. So in future, when we have a quest system built into the game that we're working on right now, there can even be quests, for example, that could reward people. For example, even if they were scammed, right? Because we're linking the wallet into the game. If people are, let's say, for example, they're investing in some crypto through our game, like through Uniswap or whatever it is, and they buy into a rug pool, we could even have like the award for that, like be rug pooled, and people could end up getting rewarded in our game as a little bit of a consolation prize for being in their first rug pool, or or being in their first pump and dump. All these sort of things. There are things within the game that we can actually gamify, and I think making the crypto experience is already fun, right? Even if some people are in rug pools, and you see it as once you're in the crypto space, I think you see these rug pools as a bit of fun, right? You lose a couple $100, but it was fun because you got to experience it. And everyone's been in a few rug pools here, I think. So I think there's a lot of aspects of crypto, even the bad parts, that we can sort of gamify. And every aspect of crypto we can gamify and sort of begin to educate people throughout the game on these things. And I think it's going to be really fun to see how that develops. And the quest system, we actually plan on allowing the community to be part of the quest creation process. We will create a proper system for that in the future, but we definitely want the community to have a way to be part of the quest creation, rather than just our team coming up with all the different quests. So sorry, I went on for a long time there, Gimpai, but I think that answered your question.
Yeah, that was perfect. I just think I love the focus. I think it's really brilliant. I think it's perfect for right now. Yeah, I'm here for it. I think it's great, guys. Keep it up.
Thank you. Right, Mike. Mike, let me get on to you. You've tried a couple of times. See if we can finally get you. Hey, Mike, I think you can speak now. Hey, Mike. Good, how are you?
Not too bad. Hey, if you can run me through the first 15 minutes of this AMA, I kind of missed it, and I was told something good was said about a legal entity and whatnot. Can you run through that one more time?
Oh, yeah, basically the legal entity, we just finished setting up a legal entity in Dubai. We'll make more announcements in the next couple of weeks once there's some more things are finalized. But yeah, basically the legal entity in Dubai is set up, and we're moving forward with that. But I literally got their certificate of incorporation today, or not the certificate of incorporation, but a letter to say that the company has been accepted.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's all I needed to know. I appreciate you, man.
No, thank you very much, Mike. There'll be more to announce about that in the next month or so.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Right, let me get Kevin. And Sir Swifty, I'll get you after. I'm going to make you a speaker now, Swifty, if you can just wait till Kevin's asked his question first.
Hello? Hello.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, how's it going? So I'm somebody
Fantastic.
who's followed the project a bit, and I just had one question just because I saw like an article with Steph Curry sneakers where like those Steph Curry sneakers can be worn in Sandbox or Decentraland. So it got me thinking, like with Bezoge, do we have any ideas or plans to be like an open source where you can have other NFTs that you can bring into the game, or you can use your Bezoge characters in multiple games when it comes out? I know it's a bit futuristic, but I just wanted to see like if there's any thoughts to being open source.
We are looking, I wouldn't necessarily say open source, but I would say we are open to making cross-compatible items. We are looking into it at the moment internally, and over the next, it's going to take us a while to work out exactly how we implement it without affecting the play to earn aspect of the game. I think there are differences in our game and other games like Sandbox, for example, where it's not really a play to earn game. As far as I'm aware, Sandbox is not play to earn anyway. It's more just of a metaverse play. So when it comes to creating play to earn, and items within the game have certain value because of their attributes and their attack attributes and their speed attributes, all these different attributes, it makes it a bit more tricky to allow people to just bring items in from Sandbox into our game. But we're definitely looking into how we can make that work. And that's, like I said, the metaverse play of what we're doing. We'll have something to announce in Q1 next year. We have an idea of how we're doing it. It's quite an interesting thing that we're doing that we've not seen anyone else do. Because I think the key thing of our game, the key aspect of our game, is that there is a storyline, and there are quests. There are quests, and and it's its own world. It's not a world that has been built by the community. It's a world that has been built by us. And that makes us differ a little bit from how Sandbox is, because Sandbox is completely open and you can build whatever you want, basically. So we have to make decisions on how we make our game more customizable by the players, and we do have what we believe is a really good solution, and we'll be able to announce that next year. It's not I don't think that solution is ready to be announced yet. but we are working on it already, and we're designing the current game around that solution to make sure that everything is going to be compatible in the future. So that's something that we're already working on, but I can't really talk about it so much.
All right, awesome. That's the only question I had. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, Swifty, did you have a question?
What's going on, everybody? How we doing?
Fantastic.
I'm over here streaming the Globe Soccer Awards. It's pretty cool. I love seeing the logo in the background. I shared the link on my Twitter if anybody wants to chime in. I guess 2 questions. When do you think we'll be able to use the pets in the game? Because people keep asking me that. And then the weapon drop for people that held a little while ago. Do we have an update on that?
Yes, the weapon drop will be around the same time as the beta. We'll be using but maybe a little bit sooner. Let me give you a better answer on that once we know when the beta is coming out. I think in the next few weeks we'll be able to make an announcement about the weapons. That's not meaning that they'll be dropped within the next few weeks, but I think we will be able to make an announcement in the next few weeks. With regards to using the pets, I think that's about the same. We actually are already working on the pet implementation. It got delayed because we were moving over to the new networking. I don't know if you've tried the game since the big patch the other day, Swifty, but the latency should be significantly lower. There may have been a few glitches because the entire networking was fully overhauled, but I think it should be a lot smoother now. I don't know how.
Yeah, I was playing yesterday. It was super smooth. I was running it on all the highest settings. I wasn't getting any, glitchy frames or anything like that. So
there should be a lot less lag with the new server system that we're using.
Yeah, I didn't notice any, and I was bouncing around for like an hour.
Yeah, so that should help. But yeah, pets, I think within the next couple of weeks, we should be able to implement pets in a basic form, at least where they'll be able to follow you around and give you a small attribute boost. When it comes to additional functionality of the pets, like them actually, being animated and helping you, they'll be animated and running around, but whether they'll actually be, jumping up to help you with attacks and all that sort of stuff, that'll be a little bit longer. But pets, at least in a basic form of giving you an attribute boost and following you around, should be in the next couple of weeks. At least
awesome,
it'll definitely be in January.
I know a lot of people are excited now that they got them and they're all sold out. Yeah,
I want the pets. I want the pet to follow me around in the game as well. I've been getting on at the game, the lead game dev for the last few weeks about that actually.
Cool, man. Well, guys, appreciate everything as always, and that's it for me.
Okay, thanks, Swifty. Just to mention, at the same time as the pets, we should be doing quite a big UI overhaul on the game. Our UI designer has been completely overhauling the entire user experience within the game, and that should be looking a lot better next month as well. So we'll probably tie that. We'll probably tie the UI updates in with the pets.
Awesome. And then any chance we can get a reticle for throwing those fireballs?
A what? Sorry.
Like a reticle, like a dot, so we know where we're aiming.
The spells will be completely overhauled as well. Okay. They're sort of placeholder spells that we just randomly chucked in. To give a little bit of an experience for the alpha, but they will be a lot more interesting. So we're adding in ranged weapons. So when you have ranged weapons like bow and arrow, when you have the ability to throw a hard fork, we're going to add in the ability to throw weapons, sort of similar to God of War in a sense that he can throw his axe and then recall it back. There'll be some similar mechanics to that with things like the hard fork and some more ranged weapons, and also a bow and arrow. So once they're added in, there'll be a whole mechanism designed. We're actually already working on it for aiming ranged weapons, And so the aiming of the spells will be the same as the aiming of the ranged weapons, or at least very similar. We'll build it in at the same time. The team are already working on that. I hope that answers the question. So with regards to the aiming or a dot, it will be better than a dot. It will be a whole aiming system for ranged weapons. Right, let me get on to Jared. Jared always comes on with good questions every week. Hey, Jared.
Hey. First of all, keep up the good work, everybody. And I can't wait till after this is done. I'm gonna look at the Globe Awards. But yeah, just a couple quick questions. First one, which I'm pretty sure is yes, but I figured I'd ask anyways. Is there plans to have different types of villains other than the Shiba monsters in the game?
There are at the moment there's already 4 different enemies. Sorry, there are the mini Shibs, there's the giant Shibas, there is Doge. Oh, and actually there's Feg. There's Feg, but we've not added Feg in. Feg is like a giant gorilla.
We even have Floki Inu ready, but we haven't finished the animations on him yet.
Oh, I didn't actually even know that we had Floki ready. I knew we were working on Floki. I didn't know it was ready. Yeah, actually, I did know Floki was ready. That's been ready for a while. Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of different meme coins as the enemies, Jared. We're also working out how we can build in even bigger bosses, so like big enemies like bosses. We're also working out how we can do grouped enemies, where they'll be spawned together as a group that all attack you together. So there are different types of enemies that we are working on, yeah. And at the moment, there's already, I think, 3 that are in the alpha, but there's actually about 5 that are ready. And we're definitely going to be adding in more. But with regard, other than just having more in there, there'll also be grouped enemies, and there'll be bosses as well. But there'll also be enemies in there that are not necessarily meme coins. So we might just have enemies in there that are called fudders. We'll probably have fudders. We'll probably have I can't think off the top of my head, but there's a lot of things that we have in the pipeline, like fudders. That should be the enemies. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we're working on.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate it. And then the other question I had is there like as you continue to gain it, like is there like an experience element to the game? Like is there a skills tree that you can build off of, kind of like a lot of your other RPG games? I was just wondering if that's going to be incorporated or something along the lines.
We are looking at how we can implement something like that within the items themselves. Also within the NFTs themselves, we may have a system in the future, not necessarily in the initial version of the game, but we may build out a system where you can actually upgrade your Bezogis and add skills to them. So you could mint NFTs. Let's say you could mint the, I don't know, like the flying skill. This is not actually the skill, but let me just say, you could like let the flying skill, and then you could add it onto your NFT, like merge it together to make it a more powerful Bezogi. That is something that we're considering. We're looking into a lot of different options on how we could add skills to Bezogis themselves. And that's one option that we have, is that you would mint skills that you could then add on, merge with your current NFT. So yeah, we're definitely considering it. Whether that will be implemented or not is still up in the air, but we're looking at something along those lines on adding skills directly to the Bezogis. If it's not like that, it may be by adding it to weapons or items that would give your Bezogi, whichever Bezogi was wearing that item, the skill. there's several ways that we could do it. We're working out what would make sense. I personally like the idea of adding them directly onto the Bezoge, because that way you could actually add value to your. For example, if you've used a Bezoge maybe 10 times to summon, you would think that because the summoning gets more expensive with each time, that the value would maybe go down. But if you're able to add skills onto that Bezoge, then you could actually bring its value back up again. So I think that makes a much more interesting mechanic in my mind, of actually adding skills onto the Bezoges themselves and it becoming a permanent addition. You can't take it back off. Does that answer the question, Jared?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, and thank each and every one of you every day.
Thanks, Jared. I hope you have a good Christmas period.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I've got a question on YouTube by Cynical Sarcasmo. That's a nice name.
Okay.
If multiple players are fighting an enemy, do all players get the blocks they drop?
No. So this is one thing that we'll test in more detail in the beta version of the game on testnet. But at the moment, it's whoever grabs them. So we'll be changing the game slightly in how the blocks work. At the moment, the blocks are actually just a single item, and if you collect one of the blocks, you actually get all of the blocks that are dropped. But in the next couple of weeks, that'll be changing, and so that all the blocks are actually separate. And whoever grabs them gets them. It's first come, first serve. But we will be adding in a way that we've discussed this a few times on the AMA actually, and this was a community idea that we think is fantastic and will be really fun. Whoever grabs them basically has to protect them for 30 seconds or a minute. So the other players that are around have an opportunity to, let's say you kill a shib, someone grabs the blocks, you have an opportunity for 30 seconds or 60 seconds to kill that Bezoge, and you can take the blocks back. So I think that'll be a fun mechanic that we're going to test. Whether that will be actually implemented in the final version of the game or not, we'll at least test that on testnet and see how that experience is. But I personally think it'll be really fun. It'll be really fun if you have that fear that after you collect the blocks, you have to really protect them and run away and run for your life. I think that personally that'll be a really fun mechanic to have in the game. So yeah, that's our solution to that.
I've got another question from Adam. He's asking, do you need to own a Bezoge to play the alpha and beta?
No, you don't have to. You don't need to own one. You can alpha. You can literally open the game as long as you've been whitelisted, as your wallet has been whitelisted. You can just select any Bezoge you want. We have there's a customizable Bezoge function in the alpha that you can just go through and select any Bezoge you want. You can choose any color. That's in alpha. In beta, you'll need to have a Bezoge. In beta, you need to have a Bezoge in the wallet that you're using to play.
Okay.
And then in the final version of the game, actually in beta, you will need to have a Bezoge, and then once we've fully developed the rental of the Bezoges, you'll be able to just rent one. That'll also be in beta itself, but yeah, you'll need to either have a Bezoge or rent a Bezoge in beta.
Right. I've got another question.
Well, let me get Jay first. Because he's been waiting a little while.
All right.
I already made him speaker. Jay, did you have a question?
Hey. Yeah, I don't know what happened when on speaker, but anyway, I hadn't heard about the whole summoning thing, counting, and lowering your value of your Bezoge NFT. And then I hear you say that increasing the skill level could increase back the value. Now, will that also be implemented into renting the Bezoge? So without my Bezoge, they also able to summon stuff and devalue my NFT? Or how does that devalue?
So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily devalue the NFT. it theoretically will devalue it. The reason being, there needs to be a restriction on the creation of Bezogis to a certain extent to keep up the scarcity, right? So the reason that the value may go down a little bit, shouldn't go down significantly, and the rental value should not be affected at all. The rental value, in fact, won't be affected at all. The reason that your value would go down is because the summoning cost goes up every time you summon. So if you read the wiki, we wrote in detail about this, but every time you summon, the cost to summon that again will go up. And summoning is only of Bezogis. So summoning is basically breeding. If you mint weapons, that's not going to affect the Bezogi at all. But there will be a count within the NFT itself, within the metadata, that shows how many times each Bezogi has summoned. And the reason being, let's say, I don't know if you've looked into the wiki already and how much you know, so I'll just quickly go through it in case other people are listening as well. But basically, every time you summon, the cost of summoning the next time is increased for that Bezogi. So theoretically, if you've summoned, let's say, 10 times, then to summon the next time is going to be very expensive in comparison to a Bezogi that has never summoned before. So theoretically, on the secondary market, the value of that NFT would be decreased, right? But the rental value of that Bezogi should stay exactly the same. Because if you rent out a Bezogi, no one can use that Bezogi to summon. And again, it's all theoretical. The Bezogis that have summoned 5-10 times might just be worth exactly the same. We don't know until it's decided by the market. It's not decided by us.
And that summoning requires breeding, right? So technically 2 Bezogis would be affected in that theoretical sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, I mean, you're breeding, right? So, yes, the value of the 2 Bezogis that you use to summon will go down slightly, but you've created a third one, right? So, I mean,
right.
The value of the third one should be more than the amount that your 2 Bezogis have gone down.
Investment, I get it.
Yeah. So overall you are creating more value for yourself, but you're decreasing the value of the existing Bezogis that you have. But then still overall you should have more value because you should have more rental income.
And so those summoned and those summoned NFTs or Bezogis would technically be able to summon and be rented as well, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for answering my questions.
I hope that makes sense, because the value of each Bezogi will go down, but you end up with 3 Bezogis instead of 2. And then you summon again and you have 4 instead of 3. So that's the reason that the value of the original ones that you've summoned with would most likely go down. But overall there's more value in your portfolio.
Does this cost coins, or is that just part of the actual NFT?
The summoning process that has, if you read the wiki.bezogia.com, there's a
I'll just read it
section. But basically there's a block cost and a Bezoge cost.
Oh, okay. I'll go look at that then.
Both of the costs that are written in the wiki are just completely theoretical. We don't have an exact cost yet. But once we have the game in alpha, in beta, and we actually begin to see the data of how people are summoning and things, we'll be able to get the more accurate costs. And even once the final game has launched, the costs will all be reasonably flexible in the beginning because we need to make sure we get it right. So those costs will be quite flexible until we've found the right balance within the game mechanics, and then we should be able to fix them for a certain period of time. But it won't be anything crazy. It'll be something like a few $100s to summon. That's the idea, at least. It shouldn't be in the thousands. It should be in the hundreds.
Is there a limit to the amount of summonings that we hope to have until the end of the, I don't know. Someone can overpopulate, right? Okay.
There's no limit, but the reason, that's why. So this is the overpopulation that you're talking about. That's the reason that the summoning cost goes up every time you summon. So there shouldn't be overpopulation, and that shouldn't, because if there was overpopulation, it would devalue the Bezogis further than the devaluing that we're giving by increasing the summoning cost. Does that make sense?
So yeah, thanks.
If there was overpopulation, then it would decrease the rental value, which would be even worse. Because I think a lot of people want their Bezogis to be rented out for that passive income, right? I think that's a key thing that we're bringing in here. So that's a key metric in ensuring that we increase the cost as people are summoning, because it will stop the population from growing too fast. Therefore devaluing the Bezogis themselves. Yeah.
And it might be me being stingy and already because I have a pet, but are we wanting to breed pets as well or no? I think you may have answered this.
Yeah, there's no breeding of pets.
Nice.
Pets are, and that's actually a good thing for people that own pets. Pets are limited edition, basically. The supply is fixed. There's 4,096 pets, and there'll never be any more. At least there will never be any more of these species. Maybe in the future we'll add more species, because I think people will want a lot of pets. But at least the puppies, the apes. I think at the moment we have puppies, apes, bulls, and what's the last one? How have I managed to forget what it is? And the bear. Puppies, apes, bulls, and bears. We may have other breeds in the future, but certainly this initial collection of pets will be completely unique, and there'll never be any more. Right, Jay. Thanks for the question. Douglas, did you have another question from YouTube?
Yeah.
Thanks,
so
Jay.
A2Z is asking, do you get blocks for renting out pets or only for Bezogis?
At the moment, just for Bezogis. We've not actually considered the pet. I think pets will not be rentable. They may be, but there is no initial plan to make them rentable. One of the things for the rental the reason for the rental, we didn't create the rental to create a recurring income. It's not a recurring revenue. It's not a passive income. That's not why we created it. That's just something that has happened essentially as part of the creation of the rental model. But we created the rental model to make it zero barrier to entry for people to play the game. And the key part of playing the game is having a Bezogi. You need a character to play. You don't need a pet to play. You don't need any weapons to play, because there'll be a base level weapon. And even in the game, actually, you can still attack enemies without a weapon. It's not very fun, but you can still attack enemies without a weapon. So the key aspect of the rent to earn and the rental model is allowing people to play, zero barrier to entry. And so renting pets is not a necessity at the moment. So the initial focus will be on just the Bezogis themselves.
I guess that answers the question. I've got one more.
Uh-huh.
Adam's asking, if you kill that Bezogi, do you get the blocks as well? Basically, the follow-up question to the 30 seconds time period where you can kill the Bezogi. Right? So he's asked, if you kill that Bezogi, do you get the blocks as well, like more blocks than what was dropped by the enemy?
No, you wouldn't get more than what was dropped, but you would get whatever was collected by that Bezogi in the last 30 seconds or the minute. Whatever the time period is, it'll be a short period of time. We need to test that, but there'll be a period of time, and basically the blocks that he stole, you'll be able to steal them back. We need to see if that mechanic works and it's not too hectic. We may test that, and it may just be absolute carnage. I have a feeling it will be absolute carnage, but it might be fun. So we need to look into That's one solution. Yeah, that's the thing. But it's almost one of those mechanics that could lead to like a Leroy Jackson moment. I don't know if people know the Leroy Jackson moment on World of Warcraft, but I feel like that mechanic could lead to one of those viral moments because it would just be really funny.
If someone doesn't know, they should actually go to YouTube and watch the Leroy Jackson moment. It's one of the most hilarious clips you guys will see.
Yeah, in gaming and MMORPGs, it's probably the most famous clip ever, I would say. And I think that something like that, like the mechanic that we're talking about, that you could steal the blocks, I think that could lead to some funny clips of people being betrayed, you know. And the thing is, you can't lose too much, right? You can only really lose like what you earned from killing one enemy, or only really the blocks that you collected in the last 30 seconds. We could even make it so that, you know, within the 30 seconds, after 10% of the time has passed, you keep 10% of the blocks. You know, we could do it on a percentage basis, so the people have to kill you very quick to get all the blocks. And even if they kill you after 20 seconds, then you still keep 2/3 of the blocks, you know, so something like that. We'll need to test it, but it's definitely a mechanic that we want to test. The other solution is to do something like a dice roll. I know that's what World of Warcraft do. If there are multiple people that are part of a kill, then there's a dice roll, and it's sort of just RNG. That's another solution. I think it's quite a boring solution though, just to do RNG and just let it be random every time. I think it's more fun that it's sort of whoever collects them, and then still you can just go kill that character and within 30 seconds. It brings that element of fear and fun after you've and the actual idea and the concept we had for that is actually really fun. We had the concept for that was that we wanted it to be a block confirmation. So exactly like the blocks are confirmed on the blockchain, you have to wait for a certain amount of block confirmations for the blocks to go into your wallet. And basically, if someone could come in and front run you by stealing your blocks, so there's a lot of fun that we can have with that mechanic, and I think we're definitely going to be looking into it. I'm actually very excited for that mechanic because I want to go around stealing other Bezoge's blocks.
Okay, I guess there are a few people waiting over here for Sir Swifty has been waiting for a while.
I can imagine some amazing music from AD as well for that period when you're being chased by other Bezoges.
I'll just put Sir Swifty on.
Yeah.
And I'll also put Alexander on at the same time.
Hey, Swifty, you have another question?
Yeah, actually, you know, I've been thinking about the breeding and summoning and how that could work. Well, my thought process really was that, you know, because this would be really good for the original Bezoges as well, and kind of make them more valuable. Is every time, like, let's say the two Bezoges breed, right? It reduces their power, and that creates the new Bezoge. So now those original Bezoges always have, if they're never, bred, they always have like a higher power level naturally, right? And then I guess my other question is, if you breed two, are they always going to start as the babies and then work their way up through like a minting of age, or just like age of Bezoges?
The age is fixed. Age is fixed.
So once a baby Bezoge will always be a baby Bezoge?
Precisely.
Okay.
Yep. Age is fixed. I actually like your idea about the reducing. The problem with reducing the stats as they get summoned is it's unfair for later players. So once we scale to million players, the person that comes at the end will be at a huge disadvantage because their Bezoge would be a lot weaker. So we have to be careful with how we create the summoning mechanic so that it's fair for, because of course the majority of the players will be coming later along, right? They'll be coming along when there's already 100,000, couple 100,000 players. And if they're immediately coming in at a disadvantage, then it's not going to be a very fun experience.
So maybe, I don't know if there's a way to make it like a percentage based on the number of players. So think of it as like if you think of Avatar, right? They had like the mana, right? Which is like the tree that gave them all the energy. So maybe there's like this aspect of that where like, it's all shared energy. But they get a boost maybe or something like that. But, I'll keep thinking of ways. But I thought that would just be really cool. Like it pulls the power from the two Bezogis to create the new one. And then that original one is slightly reduced, like you were saying. So every time it gets a little more used. So that reduces the value, or the ones that are unused have a higher power. And maybe the weapons, or maybe there's a way you can add power-ups. And with those higher ones, there's like a max power. So like the newer people coming in, they could build up to that max power through playing the game more. So maybe that gamifies it so that people, the later players are enticed to keep playing. Or maybe there's like a referral, like you bring somebody in and it gives you like a power up. I'm just thinking there's got that would just be some type of a cool way to create that rarity with those original ones. As well. So I'll keep brainstorming. I'll connect with you again.
There'll definitely be some bonus to the original Bezogis, 100%.
Yeah, because you get people that have been in, let's say, Ethereum since day one, right? Like they might have a lot more ammo to just keep minting new Bezogis and pay those gas fees, whereas or I guess because you got to wrap it to ETH to bridge it to Polygon and everything. But so some of these people that are early players in the crypto space, they're going to be able to create more Bezogis than others.
Yeah, of course. Okay. I mean, we definitely have a few things that we're considering internally, just nothing that we've posted yet and made public. But we do have a few solutions to that in mind that we're working on. And we'll have an idea, and we'll be able to share something reasonably soon. At least before the beta is launched, we'll have an announcement on how the summoning is going to work and how we at least want to test it during the beta phase.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks,
for you.
I also had Alexander. So Alexander, if you have any question, you can. Yeah,
we'll get Alexander. We'll get the other two people that are waiting in line. And I think we'll end it there because it's 1 a.m. where we are.
Hey guys, I'm not sure y'all could be able to hear me right now.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Well, it's not really a question; it's more of a suggestion. A few AMAs ago, before the party launch we had, I overheard Oscar mention how they were gonna have a Spanish journalist in the event, and I've been a holder since May, and also brought a buddy of mine. But my buddy also on his he also owns a record label in the Spanish industry. And it's a new record label. And I presented the idea to Oscar of bringing up a. I already talked to my buddy. He said because he loves Bezoge, he's really into the project. He's really busy. He's really busy. So I am the one giving him all the feedback with AMAs and everything. So he's really excited about the project. And what excites him more about the project with myself as well is just the thought of the impact of lives that will be changed in poor countries who will be able to play the game for free and just to have not passive income, but just have money coming in just for the economy growth. But what I was thinking, if it's cool with the team, is is there any way we could create a song for this in behalf of the Spanish industry for Bezoge? I already talked to my buddy. My buddy said he loved the idea. He said that he just needs a few questions answered about the team and the story about Bezoge, and he will have one of his artists make the song. And I remember I mentioned to Dog Lord, but I know he's pretty busy, about creating a NFT music video. I mean, just one, because I've never seen it before, and especially I've never seen no one in the Spanish or Hispanic industry jump into the aspect.
Funnily enough, one of my blockchain devs came up to me today and said he he thought it would be very interesting to have an NFT music, to have music in an NFT. But to answer you, I can't give you an answer to that publicly on an AMA. But get in touch with the team. I don't know who you've been in touch with so far.
Get in touch with. I remember because I remember having this conversation with you a while back on Discord. Just message me again, and I'll connect you with the group, our marketing team, and we can discuss this further on Discord or Telegram.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, it sounds great. I'll go ahead and message you then.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
I think we did actually already have the Spanish media. There was not Spanish, at least Spanish-speaking media at the event, and there was some footage, and we were featured on the news, I believe. I can't remember the exact outlet, but yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty amazing to watch. Yeah. I just never seen it with the Spanish music.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be interesting to have some music and themes from other countries within the game as well, because we do have a lot of focus on music within the project, and we have AD doing a lot of the soundtracks. Who is? I mean, AD is the Bezoge Bros. So yeah, I think there's a lot that could be done.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll go ahead and message Dog Lord again, and thank you for everything.
Thanks, Alexander.
Bye.
So we'll bring the last two on board.
Yep, Yusuf and I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry, Egg Kafaga. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that.
Yes. I just have one question. I want to see if you guys thinking of in the future, like doing marketing on YouTube with like YouTubers.
Yeah, of course. We actually have someone on board now as part of the team that is fully in charge of influencer marketing. He's currently putting together a full database, but most of the push will be.
I'm gonna mute you, Kappa, because there's a lot of echo coming. Can't. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, we have someone on board in charge of influencer marketing. He's currently building a database of influencers that we want to work with. We're also reaching out to them. Our goal with influencers is we want to make long-term partnerships rather than just get them to post a video, because what we've seen is the results of just influencers posting one video and then that's it is sort of negligible. It doesn't bring the impact that is required, at least from our experience, and especially with the new marketing team that are on board. It takes around 3 videos from an influencer for the followers to actually begin to look into the project properly. And I think you can sort of tell that by watching. If you watch YouTube and you see these influencers, they're constantly talking about Skillshare and all these different websites. They also talk about I can't remember some of the other websites, but anyway, there's a reason that these brands, they work with influencers on a long-term basis. It's because it takes a while. It takes a while for people to actually make a decision on whether they're gonna use that product or not. So we're trying to build a database right now, and we're reaching out to influencers already in terms of making long-term partnerships. And most of that will be focused on after the full revamp of the website, once we have all the tracking analytics in place, and also aligned with product launches. But definitely, yes, we will be working with YouTubers, a lot of gaming influencers, perhaps also on Twitch, not necessarily just YouTube. But we'll be looking to spread out across Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube as 3 of the main channels, I would say. And then we're also ramping up paid ads as well that are not influencer ads. So once we have the cinematic trailer ready, we'll be pushing that cinematic trailer on a lot of channels, not necessarily even just on YouTube. It may also be on other channels. It may be on TV. There's a lot of aspects and a lot of channels that we can push the video out onto, the trailer. I hope that answers the question. EG or Egg, you've been muted by Doglord because there was an echo.
Yeah, no, that's it for my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Good question.
All right, last question of this year's AMA. I'm Yusuf. Do you have a question? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. How do you think implementing the block drop feature of the creatures to be user friendly, to reduce the gas cost for the users? Will it gonna be like we need to spend gas to receive blocks every creature we kill, or
no.
how it's gonna be?
There'll be. It's actually a complex system. That's the reason that the game will be running on layer 2. It allows us to do that a lot cheaper. It will also be. We need to test this properly in the beta version of the game on testnet to ensure that we can do this efficiently. But basically, the amount of blocks earned will be stored within a centralized server, within the game server itself, and then they will be done as batch transactions onto the blockchain, sort of like you would do a ZK rollup, but from a centralized server, if that makes sense. We'll be rolling up the data from the centralized server onto the blockchain as batch transactions.
Okay, I understand.
And there'll be no gas fee. There'll be no gas fee at all for the user. They'll also be. That's the first stage. They'll also be rolled up not into your wallet directly. They'll be rolled up into a smart contract that has your balance. So we'll be storing a balance in a smart contract rather than actually storing tokens within your wallet.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. But basically, also just to answer, the tokens that are stored in your balance on the smart contract, you'll be able to withdraw them at any time you want. Okay. Okay, I think let me just get the one last question, seeing as Bezoge Holder is on here. Seeing as that was a quick question. I hate to leave one person not getting their question answered. But this is definitely the last question.
Hello.
Hey, Bezoge Holder.
How are you guys?
Great.
Oh, fantastic.
You?
I'm doing well. Hey, I had a question about the pet Zogis. I purchased a couple this week, and I'm just wondering the advantages to the pet Zogis, if there is any, or are they just cosmetic?
Oh no, they're not just cosmetic. They will give you a stat boost.
Okay.
So the matching colors that you have on your pet Zogi, the colors that match your Bezogi will give your Bezogi a stat boost.
Perfect. And then,
but you'll have to be matching colors, and also they will have some basic attacks and defense mechanisms. So they'll like jump up to attack for you, and they can also potentially jump up and shield you from enemies every now and then.
Okay.
That's a mechanism that will come a little bit later down the line, but that mechanism should also be being created as well.
Okay, and then just a couple suggestions or ideas or questions for the map itself. Will there be like a compass? Because I know you guys have the map, but does
we are definitely going to improve the map. The map is very basic at the moment. But what do you mean specifically by the compass? I think the map already works as a compass right now. I believe the map is already facing north. Is it not? As far as I was aware, the map is already working on a compass.
Dude, I'm actually just opened the map. It's circular, so it's kind of hard to say what's not and what's not. If you see it, like
no, I mean the mini map. The mini map is rotating as you rotate in the game, right? And it's facing north like a compass. As far as I remember, it was.
Map. Yes.
Yeah. There is already a compass, but yeah, the UI and the design of the map will be significantly improved. There'll be points of interest on the map that you can click on and see more information about. That system is also being designed and built out right now. So the mini map, the map itself will be significantly improved. Oh, Bezoge Holder is not a speaker anymore. Let me get him back in. Okay, it didn't work. It says there was an error. But Bezoge Holder, I think. Oh, let me hear. Okay. Hopefully that answered the question. No, that's okay. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, it did. And then I was also wondering, would there be like in-game collectible like NFTs that would be like, say like music that could be played during the game if you wanted to, that could be NFT based, just like different kinds of like rare music or whatnot.
That's an interesting idea. That's a. I'll take note of that. Like I said, my main dev was actually pushing. My main blockchain dev was pushing this concept on me earlier about having NFT music. I didn't actually consider it as being music potentially within the game. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, the reason why I asked,
I think
I've seen it in Final Fantasy and stuff. You can collect discs or whatnot, or like different things throughout the game where it's like you get a reward if you collect them all or whatnot. You could have them as an NFT or sell them in a package, or they could be like sellable on the the open market. Just things like that.
Yeah. It would be a cool. There would definitely be a cool in-game item, and I think especially if we're able to create user-generated music, user-created music that they could list and things like that could be fun.
Cool.
I will definitely take that on board. I think it's not necessarily saying we're going to implement it, but we'll think about whether it makes sense. It's a cool idea. I like the idea of you having custom music that you have to earn within the game, and you have to have it within your wallet to listen to it. Something like that. I think it would be cool.
Okay, trying to keep it short. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good questions and suggestions. Right. I think that's it from our side. If there's anything you have to say, Dog Lord.
No, I think that's it. We can wrap up the AMA. I just like to thank everyone who's here, who's present right now. Since it's the last AMA this year, so it's been a wonderful ride. I'm looking forward to what we have next year. There's a lot coming up, and I wish everyone a happy New Year.
Yeah, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. Happy New Year when it comes. Next AMA will be in 2022. Yeah, it's been a great year so far. We're glad to have everyone on board. And also, before we go, please make sure you tune into the stream. Shill Bezoge if you want. Make some comments about Bezoge or Legends of Bezogia on the TikTok stream. That would be much appreciated. And also just watch. I mean, I think there's one of the awards is actually sponsored by us, I believe. So that should be quite fun to watch. You should be able to see that one of the players will actually receive an award that was sponsored by Legends of Bezogia. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be a fun stream to watch. I think it's available to watch on TikTok. I think we've tweeted the link. I need to double check that.
Yeah, so we have tweeted the link as well. And even if I uploaded the tweet by Sir Swifty on this space. So the second tweet on this space has the Sir Swifty tweet, which has the link to the stream.
Okay. Okay, and the award that was sponsored by us was the Best Sporting Director of the Year, I believe. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. Enjoy the Globe Soccer stream, and we'll see you next year.